everyone. Today's going to be a little bit of a home renovation video. My husband and I are refinancing our house. You have to go through an appraisal process to find out if your home is worth what you're refinancing for. So my husband and I have to make sure that our house is in tip-top shape. So we decided to do a few of the little projects that have just been sitting around that we haven't gotten to. And if you want to see how we got our house ready for appraisal, keep on watching.
Okay everyone, so let's get started just by showing you some before pictures. Here's our master bathroom, and next you'll see our guest bathroom. You can tell they all have outdated countertops. They need a little bit of love. So here's where we started to remove the tile, and if you've never removed tile in a home built in the 70s, you're not missing out on anything. It was absolutely terrible. Here's a close-up of the lovely green countertops that we had in our guest bathroom. It was definitely a process getting them out as they were completely nailed down, but the good news is they looked way better when we were able to get them removed, and we got to take out some frustrations on demo. So here's a photo of the new sink and faucets that we put in both bathrooms. We had already installed one in the master, but this is the one that will go into the guest bath. I am lucky enough to have an amazing papa who helps me with all these projects, and between him and I and my husband, we got it all done, but it's kind of fun to watch him work too. It scares me a little bit sometimes, but he always does a really good job, and he always stays super safe. And here's a photo of the countertops halfway through installment, where we realized pretty quickly that our house isn't completely square. Most houses aren't, but especially ones built in 1978. They do tend to settle, therefore we had to put a lot of weight down to keep those even. Unfortunately, that was something that we ended up having to do in both bathrooms, but it wasn't too big of a deal. As long as you're able to cut it square to the wall, we were able to use the weight to hold down the bowing of the countertops. So here's an after picture of the tile drying. Unfortunately, I didn't get any video or photos of actually installing the tile because I was too busy doing it. I was installing, stepdad was cutting, we got it done. The tile that we got ended up coming in sheets, which was a little bit taller than what we actually wanted to lay, so we did have to cut those down. You can see there on the counter where we had cut off some excess pieces, but it worked to our advantage in the corners when we had to use individuals. Because we were on a bit of a time crunch, we did end up having to lay the tile while we still had the countertops weighted, but that was okay. We worked around it, we got it done, and it ended up looking really good. This was actually my first time ever grouting tile. It was my first time laying it too, but grouting I was a little bit more afraid of. Turns out it's really messy and it gets all over everything, but it's super easy to clean up, and apparently that's kind of the whole idea of it. So we ended up getting some charcoal colored grout to really make that subway tile pop and keep the grout from getting dirty. And here's a video of my lovely assistant showing me how to caulk tile. Turns out if you have something in a bathroom, you have to keep water from going behind the tile. Makes perfect sense. Not something I ever would have thought of unless I was doing this in person, but it really works out for the best. So as a quick reminder, here's what our guest bathroom looked like before the process in today's video. Before we'd done that, we did actually paint the walls and the cabinets as well as adding new hardware. But during this process, we added countertops, sinks, painted the mirror, and added tile. And here's the after of our guest bathroom. I absolutely love how it turned out. I think the charcoal walls look really great. They match the charcoal grout and the gray in the countertops. I absolutely love it, and it really classes up our guest bath. And here is again the before of our master bathroom. Once again, boring countertops, boring cabinets, boring mirror, just a little bit dated. It definitely needed some work, and it needed to have some pizzazz. So that's what we tried to add. And here is our master bathroom afterwards. It definitely feels more like a spa to me now. Much cleaner, much more sophisticated, and I am absolutely obsessed. Before I go, I wanted to show you some adorable videos and pictures of my little helpers on this. They honestly were not helpful at all, but the people who were helpful were my awesome husband, my amazing stepdad Lester, and my mom, who all came and helped us out during this process. In addition to renovating our bathrooms, I also did a few other projects like scrubbing the entire house from floor to ceiling, doing some landscaping, just trimming up the hedges and things, doing a really good mow job, thank you to my husband Jackson, and I rescreened the sliding doors and things of that nature. Anything like that is really going to help just put your best foot forward when doing an appraisal. So thanks for everyone's help in the process.